Hey, how's it going everybody? I hope you guys are doing well. Me and my sister decided to make this reaction channel. We will react to all kind of videos such as movies, maybe games, maybe dramas, and more. Now unfortunately we couldn't make on this video a formal introduction with my sister, but you will see her reacting with me on this video. Which by the way, we will react to the video of 10 movies mistakes which stayed in the movie. Let's start with the video.
Now, some of history's greatest achievements were actually made by accident, and the same principle can be applied to the world of film, as several iconic scenes from even more iconic movies contain big old whoopsies. Now, we've already covered 10 of them, but it turns out that there were so many gaffes left in the final cut that there was more than enough room for a whole new list. So with this in mind, I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 more movie mistakes directors refused to fix because the acting was too good.
How many movies have you seen from this intro?
Maybe. I actually don't know because I didn't recognize. They're old movies, so maybe one or two.
Really? I didn't see. They had Zoolander.
Yeah, I know Zoolander, and I'm trying. I think one was Rocky or something with the blonde tall guy. This is Zoolander, which is like I think like one or two.
No, that wasn't Rocky.
Rocky?
That was. I know what you're talking about. That was the Punisher.
So it's the same actor.
I don't think that you've seen the Punisher.
I think it's the same actor who played in Rocky 4. The one who.
No, it's not. It's not Dolph Lundgren or whatever his
maybe
name
only
is.
Zoolander.
No.
Wow,
It's another actor. I forgot his name, but he also played in quite a lot of movies. If I remember correctly, he had a really minor role in John Wick, but he had a major role in the whole 9 yards with Adam Sandler when he's going to jail, when he's a footballer that's going to jail. So
maybe.
don't know if you've seen this.
Russell takes a dip. Gentlemen prefer blondes.
I
From
disagree.
1953 comes Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, a movie musical starring Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell.
Jane
Now, if
Russell,
you've never
it's not
heard of
too
it, then you've at least heard of its most famous song, Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. If you haven't, then quite frankly, what are you doing with your life? Whilst Monroe has obviously gone on to achieve megastar status, at the time it was Russell who was the more accomplished actor, and she lived up to her status as an icon when a scene by a swimming pool went horribly and hilariously wrong. The closing sequence for the number Ain't There Anyone Here for Love involved several muscular men in tiny trunks leaping over Russell as she sat by the edge of a pool. Unfortunately for her, one of these hunks was a little too beefy and clipped her in the back of her head with his leg and sent her crashing into the pool. Because Russell was an absolute pro though, she carried on, emerging from the pool to finish the song. The blunder fit her character perfectly and is probably the best bit of the entire scene. Number 9.
That is
She
great.
fell in the water. Oh my gosh, this like the mistake that happening sometimes. It's amazing they used it because, well, back then it's cost a lot of money every shooting, every take to do. It's hilarious that they kept it, but she kept going, so it's nice. She didn't she probably maybe wasn't a diva or she understood that the show must go on because she didn't plan to fall into the pool. Oh my gosh, so funny.
Yep. Yeah, that's what makes great actors great, when they keep going with the show, as they say.
Ben Stiller forgets a line. Zoolander.
Not surprising
Derek
though.
Zoolander, the
But he's
character
good.
played by Ben Stiller in the 2001 comedy, is an idiot. That is his whole deal. He's a male model with, according to the movie's poster, 3% body fat and 1% brain activity. And the numbers, they don't lie. Stiller managed to incorporate a moment of real-life ditziness into his performance as well when he forgot a line during filming. During a scene where David Duchovny's character reveals that all male models are actually trained assassins, Zoolander asks, "But why male models?" This, regardless of the fact that he just asked the same question just a few moments earlier. Stiller went totally blank and so said the only line of dialogue that he could remember. Luckily, it fit the character's dumb persona to a T, and everybody on set just went with it. We're not sure what the original follow-up line was meant to be, but we're doubtful that it would have been any better than what we got. Stiller's comic timing is perfect here, which is even more impressive when you consider that his brain was in panic mode whilst he was filming it.
When I think about it, the face that Ben Stiller does there, doesn't it remind a bit Trump?
Yeah, maybe with the lips.
By the way, the one that was talking with him in this graveyard is a hand model in the
Oh,
movie.
really? Okay. Yeah, David Duchovny. Okay, he played the hand model. Yeah.
Number 8. Idris Elba punches Chris Pine. Star Trek Beyond.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
here's a tip for you. Maybe
Never
don't
watched
damage
that.
one of the most valuable faces in Hollywood if you can help it. We're looking at you, Idris Elba, in 2016's Star Trek Beyond. The third installment in the so-called Kelvin timeline of Trek, Beyond sees Pine's Captain Kirk and the crew of the Enterprise attempt a rescue mission after receiving a signal from a drifting escape pod. Psych! It was actually a trap set up by the evil Kral, idiots! Kral, Elba's character, eventually gets into a scrap with Kirk during the film's dramatic climax, and things got a lot more dramatic when, whilst filming the scene, Elba accidentally clobbered Pine for real. The errant punch left Pine with a nice little black eye to remember his buddy Idris by. However, because he's a good actor, Pine carried on with the scene despite the fact that he'd just been battered by DCI Luther. Now, fight sequences are tricky to get right. They have to toe the line between being realistic and actually being safe, something Elba failed to do on this one occasion. No hate for the big man though, because he is a legend.
I don't, it's not my domain, these movies. I don't like Star Trek, Star Wars. I can say that Idris Elba is one of the nicest looking actors, and they made him so ugly in this in the scene that is just so. But yeah, it's happened. You know, they're with all their training to not do stuff like this. They're still a human, and when you're in the scene and when you're in your part, and you wanna like act the best, so sometimes yeah, you slip a punch here, punch there. Um, it's funny that the Chris Pine really got like a black eye, but still, nobody knows that it wasn't part of the movie.
Number 7. Tatum versus a mirror.
Channing
Foxcatcher.
Tatum.
Yes.
2014's Foxcatcher is a drama about wrestling. Now, before you get too excited, this is Olympic wrestling we're talking about. There's no choke slams or chair shots in this film. Sorry about that. But that doesn't diminish the drama, though, as the story is about the series of events that led to the murder of one US wrestling hopeful, David Schultz, in 1996. Throw in a bunch of testosterone-fueled fighters, and you've got a recipe for a very volatile situation. Here, Channing Tatum plays David's brother Mark, a key figure in the story, and clearly the adrenaline of the plot got to the star because he went absolutely ham on a mirror during filming. Tatum had already punched himself in the face several times in a scene where his character was pumping himself up, but took things to the next level when he headbutted a mirror. Then he headbutted it again and again. These full-force attacks not only broke the mirror and the drywall behind it, but also sliced open Tatum's head. It was bloody effective, though, so effective in fact that the scene even made it into the movie's trailer. But it does feel weird to praise a man for mutilating himself, though.
He was in the scene.
You know, there are many. Sorry,
No,
go
no.
ahead.
I cut at you.
All right, so in many movies there are parts where spontaneous things are just clicking and staying in films history forever. Just like Here's Johnny by well, I almost say Jack Black, Jack Nicholson in The Shining.
Yeah, the thing is that like I feel that sometimes the actor is in like the scene really like in his, how do you say, like mode, like he's in this moment that I'm not Channing Tatum in the moment, I'm this character, and in my, well, my opinion, this character, what this is what he's doing. Set aside of this, you still harming yourself, and you like, and it's a real mirror, and it could be much worse than like scratches and stuff like this.
Number 6. Williams' shrimp slip-up, The Birdcage. Deciding to cast Robin Williams as the most serious character in your movie might seem like a pretty strange idea on paper, but it definitely paid off in the 1996 comedy The Birdcage. The Birdcage is about a gay man, played by Williams, who pretends to be straight in order to impress the ultra-conservative parents of his prospective daughter-in-law. The only problem is that he owns a drag club in San Francisco. The movie is stuffed with really funny moments, one of which was actually completely unintentional. As the meeting between the two families slowly falls apart, Williams' character is horrified to learn that the big meal that he had planned has gone awry. He scolds his housekeeper Agador for messing up, as well as his son Val for failing to stay calm. But in the middle of his tirade, Williams slipped on the floor by mistake, but got right back up and carried on. This fall fit in perfectly with the
By the way, do you recognize David from Friends.
Yes, behind
behind
him. Yeah.
Robin Williams.
Chaos of the scene and serves to punctuate the tension with a bit of light comedy. The fact that you can tell the other actors are trying really hard not to corpse makes the whole thing even better. Number 5.
All right. I remember talking with you about this
Yeah, we talked about this video. Movie.
about this film
Yeah, we said it.
about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, because I have seen this movie with Lior about 3 weeks ago. It's a funny.
It's
Yeah,
it's a funny.
it's a funny
Yeah.
movie.
It's also really ahead of yourself, because back then
Yeah.
when they did this movie, gay people were connected to AIDS and not as a star of a movie.
Yes.
And Robin Williams was one of the iconic actors who can improvise, and he had a huge talent for voices and mimicry that was like wow. And in this movie, I feel like, I don't know for sure, just my feeling, that the director probably gave him this free hands in some like scene, do whatever you want to do with it. I don't know, it's my feeling from this movie, because was one of the really funny movies, especially the one who's played his husband or boyfriend. I don't remember that. He's
Nathan
yeah,
Lane. Yeah.
and Nathan Lane is another good like comic actor, and
Yeah.
they did it amazingly together.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about him. It's really funny for those of you who watch, and if you, I don't know if you've seen the show Modern Family. Nathan Lane is also performing there as a recurring character named Pepper, which is practically the same character in this film as
He's
well.
one of their of Mitch and
He's acting the same way.
he's one of Mitch friends, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
one of Mitch and Cam's friends. Yes.
Kevin Nash gets stabbed. The Punisher. Back to wrestling now, and this time we are actually talking about
I'm stopping. Do you know who that
He's
is?
one of the MMA or known fighter or something. MMA or WWF. Yeah, this one.
WWF and WWE, if I remember correctly. His name is the Macho Man,
And he played in
and
film.
he used to speak like you could have seen him in Spider-Man.
Yes, right. Yeah.
You've seen him in Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man with what his name? What is his name? Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
Tobey
He
Maguire
always looked like,
in the cage.
yes, right. He's always looked like he's gonna blow up. Like, always
Yeah,
like.
in the WWF, he used to speak like that. "Ooh, I'm gonna get you." That the way he talked all the time.
the WWE style stuff. Oh, right. Kevin Nash, also known as Diesel during his in-ring days, has had a
That's
nice little
so
film career in
different.
between stints in the Squared Circle. He's been in Magic Mike, Rock of Ages, and John Wick, and even
John
played
Wick,
Super
I told you.
Shredder in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Living
He
the
also
dream, I
played in
tell ya.
the-
Nash also
in the-
rocked up in The Punisher, a pre-MCU Marvel movie based
He
What?
also played in The Longest Yard, I think, with Adam Sandler, one of the guards. You remember this movie with Adam Sandler? Adam Sandler, basically, it's where is a recap. It's called The Longest Yard. Another one
The longest yard.
was
Yes.
with what's his name?
No, you know what? You know what is the whole 9
What?
yards? It's with Matthew Perry and Bruce Willis. When he was a dentist, Matthew Perry
Okay,
is a
when
dentist,
they-
and his neighbor
I
is
remember this.
an assassin, which is Bruce Willis. This is the whole
Yeah,
9
I
yards.
remember this.
My bad. How dare
I
I?
remember.
The longest
So
yard.
the first Longest
Yep.
Yard was
Kevin Nash played in the
from 90s.
longest
Yeah,
yard.
the first.
Yeah, so Kevin Nash is funny. Is really funny, especially in the longest
Yeah.
yard.
When they gave him the estrogen, it's
By the way, The Punisher. Let's go
Yeah.
back into this. The Punisher is one of my most favorite movies of all
I
time.
actually didn't watch
It's
it.
not a very good one. It's not the best one. It's with John Travolta, but it's not really special. But it's simple. It really is simple, and it's not complicated. It's not elaborated too much. It's simple,
I don't think
straight to the point. with some cool action moments. That's
I
all.
think I didn't watch The Punisher. I have a problem with movies
You should.
that are
I don't know.
horror
I don't know if you
movies.
should, but
It's like it sounds like in a
yeah, it's
horror.
not
I
a
know,
horror
but
movie.
for me, I don't know. At the time,
No.
let's continue.
Based on the character of the same name. The titular hero, played by Thomas Jane, finds himself fighting off against a giant man who kind of looks like he's doing a Where's Wally cosplay named the Russian. That is our Kev. Unfortunately, one of the stunt coordinators forgot to swap out the knives used in the scene, so Jane was actually armed with a real blade during his fake fight with Nash. This resulted in the actor actually stabbing the former wrestler in the collarbone, much to both men's horror. But what's a little stabbing when you're used to getting beaten up for a living, eh? Well, Nash clearly thought the same, as he just got right on with the rest of the sequence. Kevin Nash, I tell you, he's one scary dude.
Oh,
Well, this is, by the way, the most.
oh my gosh!
Yeah.
He actually stabbed him. Ow!
I didn't know about. I didn't know about that, but yes, it's one of the. It's one of the worst scenes in the movie in terms of brutality, in my opinion. But it's arguable.
It's sad because it's mean that somebody didn't do his job. Like these stories remind me of Alec Baldwin that now he accidentally shot
Yep.
women, and in every
Yeah.
movie, in every production, you have these people that this is their job to check the accessories they're using, to check if you're using a knife, you're using a gun, you need to make sure it's fake. Because here, Alec Baldwin now is getting accused of killing, non-intentional
Yep.
killing, but still, it's sad.
Yep. Non-intentional homicide.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about him as an actor. Also, he came to do his job, and he accidentally killed a woman, and it's just tragic. It's tragic. Sorry. It like to think about. He
Yep.
came
I
to
think
job and
I personally think. I personally think in this specific case, I think that they should have charged him with that, because it is true that there are people who need to take care of this, to check everything, that everything is okay, but also the one that holding the gun.
Yeah,
Every person
everybody
that
needs
hold
to
the
be-
gun, every person that hold the knife need to check
so
it out.
everybody need to be, yeah.
Number 4. Gymnastics gone wrong. Blade Runner. Have you ever mentioned something to someone and then gone on to live to regret it? Well, that's exactly what happened to Daryl Hannah when she mentioned to director Ridley Scott that she was a former gymnast. This led to her performing her own stunts as Pris, an acrobatic replicant in the world of Blade Runner. In a scene where Pris is being pursued by J.F. Sebastian, Hannah used her abilities to make the scene look more realistic, but she actually overachieved on this, accidentally smashing elbow first into a car window when she messed up a stunt. This meeting of bone and glass did not exactly end well for the organic side of the equation, as Hannah chipped her elbow in 8 different places. And fortunately for her, she was playing an unfeeling robot, and unfeeling robots don't get to cry when they hurt themselves. Hannah valiantly carried on with the rest of the scene, no doubt in excruciating pain. The window break take was kept in the final cut, glass smashing sound effect and all. Actually, we shouldn't really even say final cut, seeing as there's been about 2,000 final cuts of Blade Runner, and there'll probably be 2,000 more by the time this video comes out. Number 3.
That's frustrating, because back then, unlike today, there were more one-shot scenes, which means that they had where we seen her running. They had the how dare you? When we see her running, they had the camera filming her, and then she went left, and there was another camera there to see her. So today, I'm not sure. They're still doing it today, but not as much as they used to back then. Because, as you said, every scene to film every scene it costs a lot. Today is much easier.
Also today it's a different
So
space. Yeah, I feel like today
Different.
you have like if you will try to sit today and watch old movies with a younger generation people, like they will not bear it. For them, Blade Runner. I didn't watch Blade Runner, but I know that probably some of them will say, "Wait, this is so long. This is so slow." Like now, in these days,
Yeah,
the movies
the
are
slow
like
pace. Yeah,
the pace is like cut after cut after cut. You're moving from this to there to, like, and really sometimes now when I'm
Yeah.
going to the movies and I see a 3 hours movie, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a long movie. I watched not so long ago with friends 2.5 hour movie, and I'm like, oh wow, this was an old school one. Because the movies today is less than two
Yeah.
hours.
Well,
Fred Fenster farts. The usual suspects. Look, you can pretend to enjoy the more sophisticated things in life as much as you want to, but there's no denying that farts are funny. Nowhere is this better exemplified than in the famous lineup scene from 1995's The Usual Suspects. The scene was supposed to be played straight, with each member of the row stepping forward and saying their lines in a conventional manner. However, when you get 5 actors with big personalities in a room together, well, they're bound to muck about. The group kept on making each other laugh, to the point where it was decided that the scene would be done with a comedic tinge. And one of the reasons they kept laughing was because of Benicio del Toro's inability to hold in gas. According to the reports from the set, the Puerto Rican actor broke wind about a dozen times during various takes of the scene, to varying degrees of hilarity from his co-stars. That's why when his character Fred Fenster steps forward to do his lines, the rest of the suspects start tittering. And it's a scene that is definitely even funnier in hindsight. Number 2, Star-Lord drops the orb. Guardians of
never
the
knew
Galaxy.
First of all, this movie.
have you seen the movie?
Yes, this is one of the movies that I remember that surprised me.
Kaiser
Well, I
Soze.
did had like in the beginning of the movie when it started, and after a few scenes when he's talking to the cop, I did feel maybe he's the blame. Like there is sometimes that you can know, but I was still surprised. Something threw me off in one point, and I was really surprised about that. He is the like bad guy, I would say, but I didn't know about this scene, and it's funny. Listen, it's
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good scene. It's
Yeah.
rememberable. I've seen this movie quite late during my life. So when the time that I've seen that movie, it was already obvious to me that he is the bad guy. But that is me because well, I see movies and I'm telling what's going to happen every time, and Leo is getting crazy about this because she tells me, dude, she just told me a few days ago, do you really need to watch movies at all? So yeah, when I've seen this movie, I've seen it from the beginning.
well, I do the same.
You know, I knew
I
it.
do the same.
Yeah.
Erika used to say, like, what's up? Stop ruining my movie night. Like, why do you say in the beginning, you already knows who's gonna be the bad guy, so just don't watch it.
He may be a guardian of the galaxy, but Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, is also a goofball of the galaxy.
Have you
Quill's
seen this?
blumbling pseudo-macho persona is what endeared
Yes,
him to a lot of fans
Chris
in his
Pratt.
first appearance back in 2014. Played by the
Yeah.
versatile Chris Pratt, the half-celestial is as famous for his slip-ups as he is his heroics. And perhaps this is best shown during a scene where the Guardians drop off the mysterious orb to the Collector on nowhere. As he's about to hand over the sphere, Star-Lord fumbles it, nearly letting it hit the ground before catching it. It was a great moment, fitting in rather nicely with the comedy this movie is known for, but it was also not meant to happen. Pratt legitimately dropped the orb during this scene, but kept in character and played it off as intentional. It's a fantastic piece of improv from the actor, and it shows that he really understood the assignment when it came to Star-Lord. And if you're wondering what caused him to nearly drop the orb, well, the Collector was played by Benicio del Toro, so maybe it was just another fart. And number 1,
It was supposed to be like parody on Star Wars, so it's called Star Lord, or it's like a real genuine movie.
I'm not sure that it's a parody. I'm not sure that it's a parody. I have no idea. I'm not too big into the
Star Wars.
Marvel. Well, I know quite a lot about Marvel Universe and the MCU, but not so much about the Guardians of the Galaxy, other than the movies themselves. But yeah, his character is clumsy, and not just clumsy, but also very Gesundheit. But not just clumsy, but also light-headed person, which is not really serious, and when he is serious, you can't take him seriously. So that's the kind of character, and then he dropped the orb, and it fits the character so well. So that's what happened. I mean,
the Stormtrooper
I remember
head
this,
bump.
though.
Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. An extra in a big white
just
helmet
said Star
misjudged the
Wars.
height of the door and banged his head on it whilst walking forward. That is it. That's the goof, and yet this moment has lived on in cinema history since the late 1970s. In the original Star Wars movie, a group of stormtroopers are searching for Luke Skywalker's party of infiltrators aboard the Death Star. The door opens vertically, the troopers walk in, and the iconic head bump takes place. At the time, fans probably thought nothing of it. They probably didn't even notice because the actor playing the trooper carried on so brilliantly. But over time, as more and more people noticed the smack, this moment has gained a life of its own. Unidentified head-bumping stormtrooper, as he's become known, is a meme-loving Star Wars fan's dream come true. Even George Lucas is a fan, adding in a special bonk sound effect to remastered editions of the movie so that you definitely notice it. Though a few different people have claimed to be the trooper, his real identity will likely never be known. And this is a crying shame, as we all owe a great debt to this actor and their poor field of vision.
Have you
No.
seen what they were talking what he was
No,
talking
I
about?
didn't see it. Did you see it?
All right, let's go back. Yeah, I know this, so I will stop it right at the moment.
Special bonk sound effect to remastered
Look at the
Oh,
right
okay, now I see.
stormtroopers
He
behind.
bumped his head on the. Okay.
All right.
special bonk sound
here it is
effect to
again.
remastered editions of the movie so that you definitely notice it. Though a few different people have claimed to be the trooper, his real identity will likely never be known. And this is a crying shame, as we all owe a great debt to this actor and their poor field of vision. And there we go, my friends. Those were 10 more movie mistakes that directors refused to fix because the acting was too good. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Instagram at RetroJ, but the O is a 0, and you can come check out all of the Warhammer miniatures that I've been painting in my spare time. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. As we've discovered in this list, even the best of us make mistakes from time to time, and you know what? You shouldn't beat yourself up for mistakes that you've made in the past.
I always
Learn
enjoy
from them,
listening to
try to
what
be
the
a better
has to
person,
say in
and
the
go
end.
out there with love in your hearts to build bridges instead of burning them. Everyone slips up from time to time, my friend, and all that matters is that you do right by yourself and carry on to try and live a healthy and happy life. I want nothing but the best for you, okay? As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon.
So, yep, this is why I always enjoy listening to it at the end. So, what did you think of the video?
So first of all, there was a lot of videos and movies there that I didn't watch, but it
Can you
was
tell me
still
what are
nice
the
and
10
fun
movies that he gave
to see these mistakes.
that we just seen?
What is it? The first movie was, I remember the name, but was the thing with the actress falling into the water. It was funny. The second one, well, I don't remember everybody, but I do remember not the Shining, the Punisher. And we had the last one we saw. Well, we saw The Usual Suspects, and we saw the last one was Star Wars, and we had Star Lord.
Star-Lord, yeah.
What
Guardians
else?
of the Galaxy.
We have,
And just
yeah, we have a
Zoolander.
bunch of them, but Zoolander,
Yeah.
right? Zoolander was the second one. We had the one with this was the Punisher when he stabbed him, and we talked about
So, yeah.
some really serious issues. But you know what's interesting to me is that I'm pretty sure there is much more movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of movies who had with these mistakes. So it's interesting he took those ones that are different genre and different times, and like the first movie is really old. It's before I think I was born, like, and from the 70s or the 60s when our parents weren't married even. So it's really interesting that they took all of those different genre and different eras or times kind of movies, and they just show you we are people, we're doing we're having mistakes, and the show must go on. So these actors and actresses did what they needed to do. Oh, we also saw Blade Runner. I forgot.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
What is your intake on this?
So my intake on this, well, same as what you said, that people, the great actors keep acting after the injuries and all that. That shows what a great actor really is. Not what a good actor is, but a great actor. I do think that It's a great decision making, and it also shows how good the directors are. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I have to say about that. All right, all right. Well, that was the end of it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. We will see you next time. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Yes.